Bang, bang. We are back. This week, we didn't know if we were going to have some DFS. This is going to be a completely different format. So it's going to look completely different how we present everything this week. So if you're not aware, all right, we're at TPC, Louisiana, Zurich Classic. It's a 2-person team, and it's very, very interesting format. You have best ball rounds 1 and 3, and you have alternate shots round 2 and 4. So the field is large, 160 players. So 82-man teams is what we got. 35 teams make the cut with ties, so there is a cut. I think it's very interesting how the matchups and the players, the teammates, like John Rahm and Palmer won last year. I don't know how, or I don't know if they're good friends off the course. It's very interesting. So with the weird format, it's going to be a fun week. All right. So not playing cash this week. Just going to play some tournaments. Before I go in the course details, anything else we should go over before we get in the course details and who we like?
I don't know if you covered it or not. I was kind of zoned out there for a second, but the alternating days.
Alternating shot round 2 and 4 and the best ball round 1 and 3.
Yeah, so that'll, there's just so many variables this week. It makes it pretty tough from a DFS perspective. Now, from a fan standpoint, it'll be fun, I think, but might make you want to pull your hair out if you're trying to dig deep and go all in DFS this week.
For sure. So just real quickly, it is a par 72 measuring just over 7,400 yards. It has the typical 4 par 5s, the par 3s, and then 10 par 4s. So a couple emphasis here is birdie rate, because especially in the team event, we got to get birdies. Driving distance, par 5 scoring. Another thing to consider that's different this week, it's probably be difficult to find a metric, but your partner fit, right? Do their games complement each other? Were they college teammates? Do they go way back? Have they played in these type of events together before? So on and so forth. So let's get into it. The pricing another good thing is the playing partners have the same price. So that helps out a lot as well. So we start up at probably going to be one of the most popular, because 2 top-notch players, Patrick Cantlay and Xander, is at 11-7, right? And then next up is the defending champions, Ryan Palmer. Let's go down. Let's cover. I want to cover this whole 10K and up range. It's a pretty big range.
We know Dustin likes to talk, so it's a good range.
All right, Dustin, start us off, buddy.
All righty. What did we say? 10 up?
That's correct.
You're up to a good start tonight.
Yeah, I know. So I'm trying to multitask, and as my wife says, I'm terrible at it. So
so does my wife. But I don't think you can actually multitask. Like you have to focus on one thing at a time. I don't think
that's not true.
No, that's 100% true. The only thing you could do at the same time is like listen to a podcast and go for a walk or something.
Whatever
like that.
It is, I can't do it. I'll just put it to you that way.
Yeah.
I think Cantlay and Xander are going to be the most popular. Obviously, they're probably the 2 best players overall that are paired together. And then obviously Rahm and Palmer would be another popular pair just because they won last time out. For me, maybe a Cameron Smith, Leishman, if you want to be a little different. The Aussies there sticking together. Another one that I really like is Bubba and Scheffler. Just personally, I like both golfer styles. Obviously, Chef, UT guy, so I got to go there. But the one I don't, even though Kirk's been playing pretty good, spending 10K on Kirk and Todd would kind of scare me a little bit. When you're looking at these other guys, some of the bigger names. So, I'll probably venture out and say Bubba and Scheffler, my favorite pairing from this group.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't just lay down for your Cantlay and Scheffler.
Well, I said they're going to be the most popular. They're probably the best play, but
I think a really interesting one is Champ and Finau. They both pound the shit out of the ball. They rank decent in the little model I built. And I mean, the only problem is trusting them an alternate shot because they both get a little wayward sometimes. And we know Phenom can't putt for shit when it's actually stuff's on the line. I do think Rahm and Palmer will be the most popular one just because they're defending champs. You get a little bit of price decrease. But I'm 100% with you. When I saw Chris Kirk and Brendan Todd and the 10-1, I don't understand that at all.
Weird. Yeah. I'm like, especially when you see a Homa Gooch that's cheaper.
And somehow I missed Scheffler and Bubba this afternoon and I was glancing over it. So I think I'm with you on that being my favorite pairing because we love both of them. I think they complement each other well.
Yep.
So y'all just skipped over Sammy Burns, who's from Louisiana, went to LSU, and Billy Ho.
Yes.
He's playing really great.
Burns isn't.
Yeah, well, it's his home state, home area. Might get a little confidence back. I do like Cam Champion fee now, but I'm with I believe both of y'all with Scotty and Bubba. I think that is an electric pairing when it comes to golf. So I don't know about John Rahm. He played great at the Masters even after having a kid. I don't know his motivation for playing this tournament. And they won last year. I don't know if he's been playing golf at all because he has a newborn. As we know here at DFS Dads, that can be pretty difficult to do. So I'm gonna pass on Palmer and John Rahm.
Yeah, I think Awa and Wolf is interesting. Just from a mixed bag perspective. Obviously, Wolf hasn't been playing as good as he was early or at the end of last year, but I think it's a kind of an intriguing pairing. And Morikawa's been playing pretty well up until Sunday, of course, but just throw that in there.
I think their games do complement each other with Wolf off the tee and Kawa with his iron play is phenomenal.
Who's going to putt, though?
They need D. Reed.
That's right. Give me the green.
No, they need Brendan.
Bullshit lucky putts.
They need Brendan Todd in there for a threesome. Just let him putt everything. All right, so let's go down to the 9K range.
Gooch and Homa are going to be the most popular here by far. Because Homa's the most popular person in this range just off Twitter and social media. And Gooch has been playing fantastic lately. I think he has like 10 top 20s in his last, 20 rounds or 20 tournaments played. He's been playing lights out.
The Gooch. Yeah.
Hovland and Ventura is interesting because they, played at OK State together.
A pair I initially struck my eye here is Rose and Stinson for some reason.
Stinson's been so bad.
Are you talking about the players that we're fading?
Yeah, and Stinson's kind of one of those guys you're like, man, you haven't really heard of him, and so I'm looking at him, and he had a great 2019, and then the pandemic hit him as hard as anybody it seemed in golf because he was terrible in 2020, and then he finished 38th at the Masters, not playing a ton. I just feel
he made the cut. That's his first made cut this calendar year.
I know. I'm just saying those
trending
are
up.
Two guys that have been around for a long time. Might go out there, just have fun, kind of play off each other and do well. And you might be able to get this week's gonna be weird anyway. So I'm kind of looking more to have fun with who I think's gonna pair well together as opposed to necessarily who the best golfer is, because it's gonna be weird, especially with the alternate shot. And so you got to get guys that are meshing pretty well too. So I don't dislike that pairing.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Just a matter of actually clicking them.
Yeah. The hard part.
I'm really intrigued by Keegan Bradley and Steele.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think they complement each other's games really well. Now, who knows what that ends up meaning, but I think they've
both been playing really well too. I mean, Keegan Bradley obviously as of late, and then Brendan Steele's kind of been steady himself. So at 9,300, I mean, you can do a lot worse.
Yeah. for sure. So, any interest on Sanjay M and Benny Ann at
That
the
is a really
low
good
9K
pairing.
range?
I think so it all comes down to, I guess, there should be the best tee to green pairing in theory. They just get Benny on the greens and it's over because he can't putt. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a really good group. They actually rate out as the second best tandem behind Palmer and Rahm for me.
Yeah, I like them a lot. Let's move on down to the 8K range. Go ahead.
Jump on the last 9K guys. I think that has a chance to be a decent one there with Joel Dahman and
Lanto. Mm-hmm.
I think they're both kind of some guys that can get hot. We all like Joel, his demeanor and kind of his presence. So he's going to be in New Orleans, right, having fun, and I just kind of like that pairing too.
Yeah, did you see Harold Varner said, "Ask me anything today," and Dahman said, "Why'd you go OB off hole 1 to start the round yesterday?"
Yeah, his answer was great though, man. Did you see that? He said you got to respond like you would in life, because he said he could have easily, let it ruin his day, and he kind of took it right there and said he's going to bounce back, and he ended up playing really well, getting his best finish, I think, in the last couple of years. So,
All right, let's give one pairing we want to play in this 8K range. What's your go-to play here in the 8K range? We'll start with Price.
Oof, do I have to pick one? These are rough. I mean, gun to my head, Sue and Doug Gim. But I don't really like any of the other ones, to be honest. I think this is an easy fade range for me. Actually, I lied. Kokrak and Perez. I didn't see them. I love Pat Perez. I love him.
Yeah. Pat Perez in this type of event, I feel like shines. I agree with that would be my play, but I also agree with this is a good range to fade out as well, especially if you can fit in someone up top and then move down to like the low 9K range with Sanjay and Benny on. You'll naturally have to either fade this range or you could do a Kokrak and Perez as well at the 8.3 range.
Yeah, I think if you, and I would go near the top if I was going to pick one, probably, even though there's really, the problem is there's no pairing that I love. I like single golfers from a lot of these. It's like Ches and Glover. Ches has been terrible. Lucas Glover's been playing really well. So maybe for Tilly and Strillman, right there at the cusp. Fratelli's been playing really well. Strillman's got a couple 30 finishes his last couple tournaments. So, but yeah, I'm with y'all. I don't really love this range, just because there's no good pairing where both guys have kind of been playing well. It's either one or the other.
And that's where DK was smart and not letting you get, like Hovland, who would be in the 9K range, and Ventura, who would be like in the 7K range.
Yep.
And actually making you pay up for both players.
Yep. Agreed. I do like the Gim and Sue. I mean, I think that's a
young guns, baby.
Young guns, and Gim's been playing well. They get an exemption for winning this too, I think, 2 years or something. So there's some incentive.
God, if only Zalatoris was here, he could team up with someone and get a win and actually get his tour card.
One day.
Maybe.
I don't think he deserves it.
He hasn't done anything yet.
So if y'all didn't like the 8K range, y'all love the 7K range.
You don't have to love the 7K range if you don't like the 8K range.
It is full of DFS darlings. Bramlett and McNeely. McNeely, who just played lights out over the weekend, this last week.
Yeah, especially Sunday.
But I don't really like the top range very much. But when you get to like the 73 and down, I don't mind it. Like, I think Laird and Nick Taylor's a really good pairing. They're sneaky good, and I don't think most people would click them. But they're both pretty good golfers. So you pair them together, and they're a team who can go get out, top 20 and pay off.
Yeah, I wish Doc was playing a little better. because, Hoagie's kind of been flying under the radar playing. He's got 3 top 25s in 4 tournaments. Just can you trust? Or they're not. Yeah, they're together.
Yeah, Doc's with Ryder.
Is he?
Yeah, Hostler is with Hoagie.
They got it messed up on my thing here that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Kind of what happened to Chris last week when they had it unalphabetical.
Oh,
I believe you know.
I even took a picture of it, so you got to show a picture of it.
I'll take a picture right now.
No, so Fantasy National doesn't have them linked like next to each other, which they should. They just don't.
Anybody else stick out for you? I kind of, the Thompson, Will Gordon, maybe.
Yeah, I really wish Naismith and Thompson played together. I would be all over that pairing. But I don't like either one of their partners that much.
Seifert, dude.
Seifert's not bad.
Playing pretty well.
Yeah.
He got 4 straight made cuts.
I think honestly, you're right. Because I really like Naismith. I would pick that team in the 7,500, good price range.
Yeah, I think
good upside.
Pretty comparable. Mike Thompson and Gordon and Naismith and Seifert. I think both those are pretty decent guys for 76 and 7,500. So,
Will Gordon though sucks.
He can swing fast.
That's my problem. Will Gordon is just that's right, dude. Will Gordon is just such a letdown. He should be such a better player.
To an extent, he's played really bad the last 2 tournaments, but he's lost 6 strokes putting. But before that, he's finishing 30th, and he had a couple 20s, and it's not terrible. You're looking at the price here. You obviously these guys aren't going to be locked and loaded every tournament, so some push was shoved when you get down here.
Well, you know what they say: sucks to suck.
Is there anybody in the 6K range that you like? So the problem is we love a lot of the people up top. It's just when you get down here, it's kind of tough down here.
Garnett and Stallings is a good pairing, I think, because Garnett's played pretty decent for the last couple months, and Stallings has a little pop to him.
There's so many teams in the 6K range.
I know. And then Vaughn Taylor and our boy Rasmus Højgaard.
Vaughn Taylor.
But probably my favorite in this range is Merritt and Streb.
I can see that.
Yeah. What's Streb been doing lately?
He's been snapping necks and cashing checks.
He's either good or he's terrible.
I know.
He can be good. He can be bad on the alternate shot on the one he's going to be missing.
He's made 2 cuts in 4 months.
Ouch.
They're usually pretty good when he makes the cut. So
yes.
Jeez.
And then Putnam and Scott Harrington's also another good one, I think. But that's really about it. If you want to go super old people, you got Rocco Mediate and Willie Austin.
So ageist of you.
I know. I was just the worst. For the cheapest play would be I just lost them.
What about who's
Robbie Shelton and Kramer Hickok?
Who's Haggy playing with?
Kim.
Oh.
Yeah, pass Michael Kim. Whew, that's rough.
Yeah.
But this range is super tough because they're all kind of shit golfers. They just gotta click and pray. But I think Putnam and Harrington has pretty good upside. Adam Shank and Tyler Duncan's probably pretty solid, and then Garnett, And Stallings is probably the best one in the 6K range. That'd be probably how I rank them.
No cut event for you, Chris. So throw that bankroll in there.
Oh, there's a cut. There's a cut. We'll see. It's gonna be.
I was looking for
interesting.
that on the first look and couldn't find it.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, this is the third time they've done it in this format, so there isn't a ton of history here, especially in the DFS world. So it'll be, interesting to get a feel for it this time around and kind of see, how exactly it plays out. If there's any correlation to last year, with some of these guys that played well and finished well here. I did see a stat that I believe it was Billy Ho won it in individual stroke play, and then either got first or second, I think, in 2000. And there was another guy that had won it and done the same. So some individual course history plays well here, but obviously, I mean, with so little, data, it could just be coincidence.
Yeah, Horschel has really good stats here over the last few years. He's one of the course horses. The problem is it's alternate event, or alternate shot too, the 4 days, so you never really know what'll happen.
Yeah. Could be dialed in, and you could be playing with Dustin as your partner.
That's a miscut.
That's a rough life right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
I just wanted to get y'all's. So y'all saw the one where the ball set on the side of the hole for a minute.
Yeah.
What is y'all's take on that?
I mean, the rules say,
Yeah, but there's a good. They say you can't hit a ball when it's moving either.
I know, and that's what I believe Kuchar was arguing for him and saying, no, I watched it move.
Which Kuchar, I think, is just trying to make up for all the shenanigans.
I know, right?
If it was match play, he would crying.
That was not moving. That's a penalty.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. I mean, obviously, you can't have guys sit there all day.
Yeah, I think that's the only time I've ever seen that, though, to have the ball that's subtly moving like that.
It was weird.
But I mean, I saw it cost somebody first place in a GPP.
Ouch.
Because he lost by 3 points, and that birdie would have given Seawood 3.5. I'd be pretty irate.
That's when
win $200 instead of like $1,500.
When you know everything's against you, you just say F it, right? Wasn't meant to be.
All right. We out.